Hi Jack, thank you for taking this interview with me.
No worries.
Firstly, would you say you participate in either the online football community or the physical match tending fan community? If so, for either, can you give examples of how you do this?
Yeah, I do both. So the online community is through Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, that sort of thing. And the physical one, I attend as many games as possible, so I get to see it all firsthand.
Okay, cool, thank you. Secondly, how long have you been participating in these communities for, would you say?
The online one, probably since I was about 13, 14, something similar to that. And physical one, probably a couple of years younger than that, about 11, so 10 years, something like that.
Okay, it's quite a long time actually. I reckon I've been in there for about that long as well actually, since I was about 10. How would you describe the online football community?
Strange. It varies a lot depending on which club is being talked about. So the Premier League is full of it's a bit different to the EFL community. The EFL is more real, it's all based around actual support, and the Premier League is more based around the stats of certain players. They don't watch the games properly. It's all based around, oh well, if this football app says that he's got a rating of 7.9, he must be a really good player.
Yeah,
in reality,
actually,
it's nothing like that.
That's a good point actually. I do think to a degree you're correct there. I think a lot of the Premier League is obviously worldwide, whereas League One football for Portsmouth, it's not quite the same scale.
Absolutely, yeah.
So in that sense then, how would you describe the match tending fan community?
It's completely different. It's so much better because you were people that go week in, week out. They watch the whole game every week. They speak to other fans, and everyone just gets a sense of different opinions and all that. So it's good because you can go and watch a game, and you can think a certain way. Then you can go and speak to someone else in the pub after, and they'll think something completely different. Yet you somehow both agree on it.
Yeah.
It's nice because it's just yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I completely agree. When I've been to in-person matches, the community and the vibe is a lot different to what it is online. And some of the fans I've seen online are very toxic to certain players.
Yeah, toxic's definitely the word.
Whereas in person, there's fans singing the player's name. That the online
definitely
toxic. So, what community, in your opinion, do you think has a bigger influence on hooliganism, racism, and homophobia?
Hooliganism, definitely the physical aspect. As being following quite a few games with Portsmouth, who have a renowned rough fan base.
Yeah.
You see all this stuff firsthand. Sometimes you're even part of it. But I think the racism one it's more online. It's people that have their profile picture as a football player. They have a random name called Magical Martial. No one knows who they are, and then they reply to all these players. Especially the black players after games when they've not had a good performance, and say all this horrible racist stuff to them. And it's so much easier to do it online because no one knows who you are. No one can call you out on it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I completely agree. Especially, I think there is a disparity between match-going fans and how that can be portrayed online. So people maybe take that as their persona online. I can see that, but also having been, as myself, part of both communities, I do feel that what you're saying is spot on. So how do you think, in terms of hooliganism, how do you think that community enables such behaviour in your opinion of hooliganism?
What, the physical one?
Yeah.
I think it's just the fact that I can only speak from EFL games that I've been to following Portsmouth, when typically if you support an EFL club, it's usually your local team, you're working class, you've all been brought up with dads that have been labourers, dads that have been part of it before, so you've already grown up being quite tough, and to be part of a community like that, this is sort of what every young lad wants. They want to go out with their mates, have a few beers, fight a few people, show off to their mates that don't go to the football the next day at school or work or something. And I think it's a big thing, and it's not getting any better than it was recently. It's only getting worse.
Okay. So on that sense then, especially this is for both communities, what would you say the positives of both the online community and the physical fan community?
The positives of the physical one is you get out watching the football with your mates.
Yeah.
You get to hear all this different stuff, go to all these different places, drink all these different beers. All the transport up there is usually a laugh with everyone drinking.
Yeah.
So it's nice, but then you've got the online ones, even though it's completely different, it's not really as good for me as the physical one. I think you can gauge a lot of, especially for teams that you don't watch. So say Portsmouth have got, sadly now out of the playoffs, can't make it, but when the playoff running was in, hearing about all the Peterborough fans, Derby fans, and all their opinions on their team and where they think they'll finish, and it's just nice to get a different perspective from different fans, which you can get from the online community.
So one way you could say that is the in-person vibe. It's about community. The in-person fan, the positive is the community you get from it, and then the positive in the online community is you get to reach out to other fans that you maybe wouldn't get to see maybe once a season, twice a season, if that. On the contrary, what are the negatives of each community?
Well, I think we've already picked it up, the hooliganism and the racism.
Yeah.
I think that's
definitely. Do you think that both communities behave the same as each other? If so, how would you say they do?
I think they do in different ways, but the same way, if that makes sense. So going back to the racism and the hooliganism, you're all masked up, got your hood on, balaclavas, all, no one knows who you are when you're fighting someone. Same as online with the racism, you've got the profile picture of a footballer and a name that's not yours. So no one knows who you are with the racism online either. So I think that's how it's quite similar.
I think that's an important thing to talk about, is that how racism and homophobia, they're both things that you see, because I've seen it before, I've seen it in person matches, you see that in person, you see it online. And then the one that I would say, like you have said, is the hooliganism. It's quite difficult for that to translate online. That's probably one difference, but I think they're both quite similar. And finally, Jack, thank you for your time.
That's all right.
What do you think is the impact of discriminatory content posted online from match-tending fans that it has on the online football community?
Sorry, could you repeat that a second, Josh?
So, to make it a bit simpler, do you think that posting content online, does that have, or especially discriminatory content, so videos of racism, videos of abuse or hooliganism, do you think that has an impact on the online community?
Yeah, it does. It gives them a bad name.
Yeah.
Because not everyone's like that. There are people like me on there that will go on there to try and gauge the opinions of different fans from different clubs, and then you get your own club's name tarnished from a couple of idiots that think it's funny to post all this discriminatory stuff, and it's just it's not good enough.
Yeah, completely agree with you. Thank you for your time, Jack.
Sorry.
Really appreciate that.
Like Blues.